Hello, USA soccer fans, football fans. Bobby Cardenas coming at you from Lancaster, Wednesday afternoon. It's halftime between Liverpool and Man City. I have my Liverpool shirt on because of all the Barclays Premier teams that I like and support. Liverpool is the number one because of their history, the players that they have, their philosophy over the last couple of years, especially with Brendan Rodgers now being the manager, some of the great up-and-coming players, and Fernando Torres, El Nino from Spain, who, let's face it, has not done very well with Chelsea, as people expected him to do, or with the Spanish national team. But he played for Liverpool, and before he went to Chelsea, he had a great career at Liverpool. Great player. Okay, the reason I'm posting this right now is because I've actually been meaning to do this for a while. That was my door creaking right now, closing shut because of the wind out here in Lancaster. But anyway, commentators on our game, on our sport, on football. There are a couple of pet peeves I have with you guys. First and foremost, call the game based on the play of the game from the player's perspective so that the fans will understand and enjoy what's happening with the game. Because let's face it, the only thing you need for a game to be played amongst all of the sports of the world, whether it be this one, football, basketball, hockey, baseball, tennis, anything, is players. So please forget your commentary about the officiating and your opinion about the officiating during the match. If you want to give your opinion about what a referee did or did not do after the match, fine. Because then the fan that's watching the game can choose to watch that afterwards or not because the game is over. Because the greatest sports announcers in history of all the various sports, beginning with Bob Miller, the Kings announcer, going to Dick Enberg, who announced football, Chick Hearn, LA Laker, greatest announcer, arguably, amongst all of them, possibly only second to none with Vin Scully from the Dodgers. What do all of those four announcers have in common? This. When they announced their sports, they announced them in the era when there was radio. So you had to listen as a fan and imagine the game as they were calling it. And they focused on the play, the game, the athletes, and they gave their insight in between the plays, especially Vin Scully and Chick Hearn. They were the best at this. In giving statistics about what the players could or couldn't do, what they were prone to do, what they weren't prone to do, what they had done in their history, going back to plays of the past, to enlighten and to encourage the play of our game and give the fan something to really listen to, and then later on with television, watch and enjoy also. They focused on the game. So you, as football announcers, soccer announcers, don't criticize the referees during the match. Don't tell me these things, which are my biggest pet peeves. Handball. No such thing as handball. There's something called handling. You want to refer to the infraction of handling? Do so. Don't use the term handball. Don't tell us that for you, the penalty was not enough of a penalty for you, or it was a soft penalty. You know what? A penalty is a penalty simply because an infraction has occurred in the offensive 18-yard area that would result in a direct free kick for the offensive team, and therefore it is a penalty. Simply put, has nothing to do with the degree. The only thing that a referee will do after calling the penalty is issue a card, be it a yellow or a red, depending on what happened during the penalty by the defensive player. Don't give your commentary on whether you think it was or wasn't a penalty. State that it was a penalty, and then afterwards you can talk about your opinion. Just let us know that it happened. Don't try to get into the mind of the referee or into the mind of the players. You're not there in the field. Even if you have been a player and a coach, excuse me, don't do it for the fans of the game. Just call the game. That's what those other great announcers did. They called the game. Don't tell us whether you think a foul deserved a yellow card or a red card rather, after you've seen it issued, and try to undermine what the referee has or has not done. That's not your job. Your job is to call the game. Now, you're going to argue that part of your job, calling the game, is to test what the referee does or does not do. I argue that you're undermining the game in and of itself. Why? Because if you weren't there during that game, and the referees weren't there during that game, and you threw a ball out to 22 players, 11 on one side and 11 on the other side, they could play that match, irregardless of you guys or the fans. On any weekend, you go out to a field and a park, you throw a soccer ball out there with a bunch of kids, they're going to formulate a game. Or throw a football, NFL game, right? They're going to play a game. A basketball, you see kids up and down the streets with their baskets up, they'll play a game. Baseball, boom, on a field. They don't need any of us. So please, respect the game for what it is. Call the game. If you do want to put in your input, which you can, I'm not saying you shouldn't, do it afterwards. During the game, just announce the game. Let the fans enjoy the game. Do your job. Okay? That's it. I had to say it. It's been something that's been burning in me for such a long time. Okay. I'm going to start today with a second send-off. You guys all know the one that I do at the end of my post, but I'm going to precede it now and from this point on with another one that I think is just as important. Say no to racism. And go USA!